I think I've heard you say that you don't want to have children.
Avoidant. I don't want children. Emotionally, in relationships, not there either. No, my dating life is terrible. I never, technically, when they say that you can't miss a love that you never experienced, I'd agree with them. I think that we've now reached the age where our peers' parents are passing away, and it's a pain that I cannot even comprehend.
Hello and welcome to Life Lately, the podcast where we explore and dive into real conversations on relationships, on friendships, on life, fashion, and real challenges that life throws our way. I'm Nozipho, and I'm so excited to explore with you and have talks with my amazing guests. So, in this podcast, we cry a lot, we laugh, we grow together, and most importantly, we have authentic conversations. So if you're looking for a community where you are going to be able to have real talks, you're definitely in the right place. So do subscribe and comment in the comment section below. Today's episode, we are joined by the beautiful Qinisile Dlamini.
Thank you.
Do you know that my mom uzalwa uMadlamini?
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, hi fam.
Hi. We could be cousins.
Yeah, we could be cousins. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good, sis.
Good.
So Qinisile, you are a Airbnb host. You run.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I used to be known for Airbnb, and now I'm just doing interior design.
How get his own blog? Come.
Not even like.
Do you want to talk about it? What happened?
Oh, girl.
Life.
Life.
Okay.
Literally, life happened. I had 15 Airbnbs. Yeah, about. I'd say it's almost like 2 years ago now. And life happened. People passed away.
Okay.
Properties were repossessed.
Okay.
And so now it's something that I chose to let go of. I honestly could have continued, but I was just so defeated.
That's okay. We always go back to the drawing board.
We do.
Yeah. For me, I always say, when something doesn't work out, it's not over. You always have an opportunity to reinvent yourself,
Redirect,
go back to the drawing board and try and figure it out. So I know now that you run masterclasses for people that are trying to revive their businesses.
Yes,
Okay.
I do. Not so much masterclasses, it's just talks.
Okay.
And I do them not as frequently as I used to do the classes. Every now and again, like maybe once a month or something, I'll go to another city and I just talk to small business owners,
Okay.
mostly micro business owners, about how to re-strategize when it comes to their business that is failing or stagnant.
I'm there.
Are you?
Girl, it's for another day. But I'm one of those
Yeah.
present.
Yeah.
I have a small business that I recently, maybe I'm just too hard on myself. But I feel like when you've invested time, you've invested money, you just want to see the results right now.
Right, exactly.
That's the problem. And I'm that person.
Yeah.
But what do you tell people like myself who I feel like I don't know which direction to move?
I think what I would tell them, if I can just squeeze a 3-hour talk into just 5 minutes.
Okay.
If you have a child, when the child is born, you're feeding them breast milk, right? Then maybe they get to 6 months or so, and then maybe they can switch to formula, and then they can switch to
Solid.
soft. You know what I mean? And then you know how kids grow, and at different stages of their growth, you're feeding them different things. The same applies with your business. The things that you're doing on a daily basis now are giving you the results that your business is getting now. And the problem is that we go past that stage, like 6 months, 8 months in our business, but we still want to feed them breast milk. We're not changing anything, but we want a different result.
We want the baby to run.
It's not going to run.
Okay.
It's going to be malnourished, if we can call it that.
That is such a nice way of looking at it.
Right.
Oh, I feel like I'm putting so much pressure on myself. And I was just telling my business partner that I'm saying cartel.
No. You just got to change the strategy. The formula is not working anymore. you need soft foods now, or it needs pap or meat, something. There's no way that your business has been running for so many years and you're doing the things that you were doing when it first started.
Okay, so my defense, mine is fairly new.
Okay.
Okay, so maybe what do you tell someone like myself who, first of all, I just had this brilliant idea, which I think is brilliant. And I said, I'm going to start this clothing store, but I didn't have experience. You know, when I got to start it, I realized it's not about money. It's not only just about money. It's not only about this. How do you help someone who's stuck? I'm literally stagnant right now because I don't know which way to go.
It's literally the strategy.
Okay.
It's the things. I think, say, for example, if I asked you now, what is your business strategy?
Okay, fine.
You wouldn't know, right?
No, I don't.
But that's the thing. We can't change something if we don't know what it is.
Okay.
And a lot of people think that when I ask you, what is your business strategy? You say, okay, I'm going to do X, Y, Z. No, it's not what you're going to do. It's what you're currently doing. Every day when you wake up, you go to the shop, you stock goods from wherever, and then you package them, and then you market. Write down all of those steps in detail. Look at that. And then we could go into a lot of detail on this. Then we start to change the strategy, and that's what's going to get you unstuck.
No, I get you. But I also feel like when we are trying too hard in the beginning, it's like it's not working, and then we want to give up. What do you tell people? Like, what is your masterclass? Because I'm very interested in this, and I know that there's a lot of people that are trying to start businesses or have businesses. What do you tell us to say? Do not give up. Hire this, because it cannot all be in a 3-hour talk. Okay.
It is. It is. I think it's so tricky when you put it that way. What do you tell someone to motivate them, etc., etc.? I think there's so much business motivation out there. I'm not there to motivate anyone. I'm there to tell them you need to change the strategy.
Okay.
You need to delegate some tasks. You need to remove some tasks. You need to accelerate some of the tasks. You need to automate some of the tasks. So they're doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result, and no type of motivation, you feeling good about yourself or encouraged or excited, is going to change the results. What's going to change the results is you looking at all of your points that make up your strategy, removing some, delegating some, accelerating some. It's a whole list. I need to do a talk on this.
I will be there. Okay, so we reverse now. Today you have learned life lessons, what to do, what not to do in business, in your life. Take us from the beginning. I don't think I told my people who Qinisile Dlamini is from the beginning. Business lambo.
Okay.
Tell us about you.
I am Qinisile, but this whole time you've been calling me Qinisile, and I'm so stressed because only like when I'm in trouble do I get called.
Okay, Q.
So I'm Q, and I was born in KZN.
Okay.
But the interesting part about me is that I was actually I almost said I was born an orphan. No one's born an orphan, but I am an orphan.
Okay.
I lost both my parents when I was newborn, and I grew up in an orphanage in KZN. And ever since then, I've just been very, very ambitious. I saw what poverty looked like firsthand, and I promised myself from a very young age that I didn't want this to be my story, and that in building a better life for myself, I wanted to inspire so many people who are either like myself or on different circumstances that are not favorable. Right. And so I studied, I worked hard, got a scholarship to study interior design.
Okay.
And then graduated and came up to Joburg. And that's when everything started moving. So I've started so many businesses. I've had a fashion business. So I can actually...
That's why you look so funny.
Thank you. I can actually sew. I taught myself how to sew.
I need you.
That was my first business, and then I moved over into... What was I doing? Oh, then came the Airbnb business. Which really kind of catapulted me into the spotlight. I was running masterclasses. I had my own Airbnbs. Things were really great until they were not.
Yeah.
And I lost everything.
Yeah.
But it wasn't my first time losing everything.
Yeah.
I also learned that every successful business owner that you'll speak to will tell you that they have fallen flat on their faces multiple times. And so I wasn't so much ashamed of that, but I was kind of ashamed of, when you're on social media, people, or you create an image of yourself and people view you a certain way. And when things have changed and you're no longer that person, it can be embarrassing. And so I had to overcome that and just be honest and tell people, guys, I'm broke.
Yeah.
I don't have those millions anymore. And I chose to publicize it and take as many people along the journey with me. And now we're not back to the millions yet. We're well on our way. And that was enough to inspire people, small business owners who have also gone through the same thing, to start over.
There's nothing wrong with starting over. In fact, I always see starting over as an opportunity to get it right this time.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that you're not going to fail again or you're not going to face challenges. But I'm listening to you now speak, and you so quickly fast-tracked into your adulthood. But me, I don't know. I've always just been so intrigued of people's journey in growing up and their childhood, because I really believe that's what shapes us into becoming these people. And when you speak of being born and losing your parents such an early age and growing up in an orphanage, I don't know what your experiences was like, but I know I had both my parents growing up, and I lost my dad at the age of 20. It's going to be 20 years this year, and I still don't forget that. That's a pain I carry with me so much. So you hear other people say that at least awulazi uthando, that you can't miss a love that you never had, but there's no way that a child doesn't miss uthando la mama no baba. How was that like for you? Were you able to get therapy? Were you able to speak to somebody?
I never technically, when they say that you can't miss a love that you never experienced, I'd agree with them. I think that we've now reached the age where our peers' parents are passing away, and it's a pain that I cannot even comprehend. It's painful, missing something that you had just yesterday.
Yeah.
And for the first time, I kind of appreciated that I never knew my parents, because I feel like it's better losing something or missing something rather than you had it yesterday, now it's gone.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful for that. But to answer your question, I didn't get therapy when I was at the orphanage. I only recently came into being able to afford to go to therapy, and I did. I invested in my mental health because it's just as important. I think that a lot of business owners kind of put that on the sideline. They don't realize how their childhood traumas are affecting their businesses today.
Sure.
They really are.
We do not want to face that
as
no. people.
No. So they run their businesses with their ego, or they run it out of insecurity, or from they're very childlike in the way that they respond to things, or very defensive, or I'm still guilty of it. I won't lie. It's a process. So it's gonna take a long time to get through it, but I have I've built the foundation for it. And I know which issues I need to.
Yes. I'm so happy to hear you speak so positively on therapy. I'm a therapy person. I'm so pro therapy. And, our Black community doesn't.
Oh, no.
It doesn't believe in it.
No, it's very unfortunate.
It is so unfortunate. I grew up, obviously, I've mentioned this before, both my parents. And for the longest time, I never understood why my mom was not as affectionate as my dad. And so Sonke, we grew up drawn closer to our father because he was the most loving and more affectionate. But when I was married, I started having a different relationship with my mom because she now spoke to me as somebody who understood what marriage was. And so that's when I only got to understand my mom and also realize that she had such major childhood traumas that she had never dealt with.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like I wish we could always understand that that's where the root is.
It is.
We parent differently, because of traumas that we've never healed from. We become different friends, such a way of friendship. It affects so much of our lives as businesses, as friends, as girlfriends. And
have you ever looked into attachment theory?
No.
Attachment styles. Oh, it's the most interesting.
Oh, what is that?
It's basically how you attach in relationships. It could be romantic, it could be your friendships, even in workspaces. But it has to do with in the first 1,000 days of your life.
Okay.
How did your primary caregiver attend to you? So if your primary caregiver was a bit absent, they were emotionally unavailable, sometimes physically unavailable in my case, because I grew up an orphan. It makes that person now in their adulthood, they're avoidant.
Oh my
They
God.
don't like confronting situations. They're terrible at communication. They isolate a lot, right? Then you have the opposite, where the parent was sometimes there, sometimes not there, sometimes there, right? So that makes the kid now in adulthood anxious. So they constantly want reassurance. They're the type who we would call clingy.
Oh my God.
Right. And then you have the secure ones. That's where the parents were physically there, emotionally there for the child. And so now when they're attached in relationships, it's in a healthy way.
But can we ever be 100% secure?
Yes.
You think so?
Can. With a lot of therapy. It takes
with a lot of therapy.
Wow.
With a lot of therapy.
It takes a lot of unlearning. And I know I'm fearful avoidant. Must look into it.
Just think, I will.
I know where I stand, but I know where I want to be. I want to be more secured. It's going to take years, but yeah, we work on it.
So in your personal space now, where you are dating, you are somewhat late 20s now, approaching
27. Oh, I'm getting old, maybe 28 next week.
Oh my God, that's not too old. I can't even remember when last I was in my 20s. I don't even know how to find my way there. So you're very young.
I'm very young.
I'm sure you're now thinking family soon, relationships. How's the dating, and how are you emotionally available in the dating? And do you ever think about being a parent one day? I think I've heard you say that you don't want to have children.
Avoidant. I don't want children. Emotionally in relationships, not there either. Yeah, no, my dating life is terrible.
I hear the streets are dry though, so it's not your fault.
Yeah, no, it's not great, but also I think I've just been kind of putting it on the back because I'm focusing
on yourself,
business and myself. But then again, it's been 5 years now. 5 years
since your last relationship.
Single, yeah.
That's a long time.
It is. It's actually concerning now. I think it's getting unhealthy.
Are you not lonely? No, man, I don't even want to say, are you not lonely? I mean, there's other friendships, okay? There's other relationships that keep us full. But you just brush it off and said, I don't want to have children.
Yes, I did. But before we get into it, let me just have a disclaimer, because I think I'm so mindful of saying things as just a blunt statement, because I know that we grow. And I would hate to look back at this interview in like 5 years' time and be like, no, but you said you don't want children. So let me say this. I have no aspirations for having children.
Right now.
At all.
Okay.
But I know that I could grow out of it. I know that I could heal. I know that I might meet someone who makes me change my mind. But me right now, and even the way that I see my own future, I'm when you close your eyes, I picture a woman when they close their eyes, when they're younger, they probably envision their wedding day and what it might be like to have a family. I've never been able to envision that, even a wedding day.
Do you think it had anything to do with your childhood?
Oh, absolutely. Definitely. I think I saw a lot of hurt. And then I didn't want to bring that into the world, or bring any kid into the world to experience that.
So that's your reason for not wanting to have children?
I believe so. Or it might have to do with the fact that maybe my inner child is not healed. So she feels like she didn't have that type of lifestyle. So why should anyone else have it? So I think I maybe need to heal her. And then once she feels secure, then I might be open to having kids. But right now, she's very jealous.
I love that you are healing your inner child. I love that you are, intentional and recognizing that this is the part of me that I need to grow. This is the part of me that I need to take care of, because there's nothing worse than having a family or starting a family and you didn't really want it.
Right.
Right. A lot of people, I myself, I never went on and said, okay, I'm ready to start a family. I didn't.
Really?
No, I was young when I had my child.
How old?
I was 18.
Oh.
My first son is 21 now.
Okay.
And not that I was never going to have children, but I never got the opportunity to even say that I do want to have children or not. And listen, me last year, if somebody said to me, I don't want to have children, I'll be like, why would you not? But not the older, but the more I'm learning to be present with myself, my thoughts, because I'm hearing a lot of people say the relationship that is most important to have is one with yourself.
Yes.
And the more I'm having an intentional positive relationship with myself, I'm realizing that such people like yourself exist. Such choices are there for us to make and say, actually, I'm not in a space where I want to bring a child into this world. Not for anybody, but for myself.
Right.
Because this is a process.
And also these traumas, they get passed on to our kids.
Yeah.
So a lot of people have kids when they themselves are not even healed, and then you wonder why you can't have like you said, an affectionate relationship with your mom. She herself wasn't healed yet.
Yeah.
And so how do you actually show up at your best version for a kid when you yourself need that help?
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
No, that's true. Mankulma and I'm just like, sometimes she'll look at me and she's like, I love how you parent your kids and you're so present. And even with her, I'm always saying, please give a warm a hug, I'm just like,
you see, even that.
Yes, like things like
so small. I can't give hugs. I don't like hugs. I imagine now I'm supposed to be all chest to chest bonding with this child. I don't even really want to.
Guys, we need therapy, right?
We do.
We do need therapy. And for you now, the next time you find yourself in a relationship or meeting somebody, you are now in control. You are taking a decision to say, I want a partner that's like this.
Yes.
Because this is what I can bring to the relationship.
Yes.
I'm not trying to heal. I'm not trying to be complete.
I saw something one time. It said something about, are you healed, or have you just isolated yourself so much that you're not being triggered?
Oh my.
And there was a point, so I've been single for 5 years, like halfway through I was like, okay, now I'm good now. I'm not going to be doing all that stuff anymore. I did some terrible things in my relationship.
You were a mean girl.
Hey, man. And then I saw that and I was like, ooh, actually, I think I haven't healed. I've just not been triggered.
I can't be that person. I can't. As long as you identify your triggers and be like, okay,
yes,
I don't want to be put in that situation ever again. Or if I do find myself, this is how I remove myself.
How I want to respond.
You are so grown. I see growth right now. I see such a mature lady, and you won't even say you're 27. Like,
oh no. I think I used to take that as such a compliment, but then no, it is still a compliment. But I would say that on the side, I do still want to just be a kid, because I don't think I ever got to really be a kid. Now those kid tendencies will start coming out here and there a little bit, like when I have a burger or something, eat it like a child. See, like a Big Mac, you open it in half like that. One burger and one burger.
I was just gonna say, what do you do now to give yourself that love that you wish you had? How do you take care of you? Like, what is the one other than therapy? Like, what is the one thing that you don't deprive yourself of?
Whatever I want to eat.
Okay.
And unfortunately,
it goes.
I gained a lot. But it's so much deeper than just wanting to eat. It's in the orphanage, we never got that privilege. We were not allowed in the kitchen.
Oh my God.
Meal times were very set, very strict, and it was the same thing on the menu every single week in, week out. And so that small luxury of, like, I would be so jealous of what the kids were carrying to school, like my friends, because it was different, it was exciting. It was made with love. And so now I'm like, okay, I have my own money, I have my own fridge, I can eat whatever I want. And I think that's the child in me, having that freedom or that fun in what I didn't experience as a child.
Oh my God. Things like going to the beach.
Oh gosh.
That's healing for me.
Is it?
Even like, I think that was the most exciting part of my childhood, and I still do it now. For me, those are the things that I do and take time out for myself. When I tell my kids we're going to the beach, they know what mom needs time for herself. And I can never explain to you what it does to me, but I I'm okay again.
Yeah.
Just to have my feet in there.
Can you swim?
I learned as an adult.
Okay, that's
But
good.
my kids are great swimmers.
Yeah.
I'm not there to swim, but I wanna be around. I want my feet to touch the sand.
No, the ocean is very calming.
It's so calming.
Oh.
So I think do more of those things that make Qinisile. I love calling people by their full names. Even my son knows when I say Buhle, when I say it all in all, it's the full name. He knows it. Oh my God, I'm in trouble. But I love your name. It's so powerful.
No, I should actually use it more because I know I don't think I've ever shared this story, but at the orphanage they changed our names. Hey,
what?
Yeah. So Qinisile is on my birth certificate, but I never went by that name.
What did you go by?
They changed my name to Queenie.
Oh my God. I'm sorry to judge.
I know, it's terrible. I don't like that one either.
But you still had your birth certificate, luckily, to still know.
Yes. So I knew that was my name, but because they couldn't pronounce it,
Yeah. No, man, I'm so happy that you're here and you got to share with us your journey. But most importantly, I need you for those masterclasses for the businesses. You seem like you have overcome so much in your life, and you usakula, usanyuka, you're still gonna go.
Yeah.
Kakulu Pezul, I'm so proud of your journey. And you mentioned when we were starting up that you felt a lot of shame when your Airbnb business didn't go well. Listen, all of us go through things, and I'm glad that you didn't stay in that moment of feeling like I failed. You got up. So you are an inspiration with your interior design work. You got up. You've got a business that's thriving, that's still growing. I look up to you.
Thank you.
As old as I am, and I really appreciate you taking the time to come and share your journey.
Thank you.
And not letting your childhood or your life circumstances shape who you are, because life has to be lived, and you are a true example of that.
Thank you so much.
So where do people find your work?
So on my Instagram, my handle is Q_Qinisile. See, I am using that.
Yabo.
A lot of the work that I've done is on there, and then they can also check out my TikTok as well, Lady Q.
Lady Q.
Yes.
When I can afford you, I will find you. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and do become part of this community. Subscribe, comment in the comment section below. But thank you so much, Qinisile, and we will see you next week.